Why is this doing this?
Delete that one.
What?
2 seconds.
So when you record,
Press OK.
never mind.
It's not
I got it.
it's not even talking. It's just like.
Okay. I don't know what that matters.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
You want to count down, girls?
Alright.
All right, everybody. It is officially starting to feel like summer, and you are tuned into the Conscious Thoughts podcast on Apex Radio. You know, we took a little bit of a break because it was a little bit of a turn-up week for everybody. I have my beautiful co-host, Ms. Jams, sitting right next to me. Ms. Jams, how is you doing today?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
I heard you were at the Migos concert
Hey,
yesterday.
I saw Bay take off. I'm sorry, I'm in love with him. So
See, I don't even know who's who.
okay, so Takeoff. Actually, a friend and I were just talking about this earlier today. Takeoff. He said he looks like a blowfish because unfortunately his eyes are too far apart, which is mean as fuck. I still think he's sexy as fuck. I don't care what you say. Quavo is the one that you see who's pretty much featured on everybody's songs.
Yeah.
And then there's Offset, the dark skinned one. So yeah, with the short dreads.
See, the only time that I feel like I've ever seen them where I'm like, okay, this doesn't look like all of the same person is was that Nikki Heaton video?
Oh yeah, I actually like that
Bad
song.
Intentions?
Yeah, Bad Intentions. That's a good one.
That is a really, really dope song. Like, but I know that they're like all in the video, and what's so crazy about that video is just how this woman is like pitting these men against each other.
And every one of them.
That's the whole concept of the video. You got this.
It reminds me of like the Shatas movie, like at the end, how they're all like invading the mansion. That's what it reminds me of.
This entire video, it really makes you think about, you know, how people's egos get involved in the mix when it comes to, you know, the person that you're dealing with.
Yeah,
like
when it comes to relationships.
And that ties into exactly what we're about to talk about. One of our major topics today is discussing just exactly how do you coordinate a threesome in a relationship, right? And when it comes to pitting somebody against each other or jealousy and ego, I think that probably takes the cake for situations and scenarios where you kind of open a Pandora's box in your relationship a little bit. Have you ever had a threesome?
I have. Not gonna lie, yes.
How many though? Has it been often?
Honestly, not that much. Mainly because I'm very territorial. I don't like seeing another woman like touching my man and stuff like that. So I'm just like, no. So I'm possessive when it comes to my dude.
But let me ask you a question. The reason that you had when you decided to have a threesome, was it something that you felt like you did for him, or was it something that you felt like you did for yourself?
Oh, it was for him. He wanted it, so I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I'll do it. I'll give it a try. But like I said, it's just like seeing the whole other person, and there's just too many arms, too many legs, too many. I can't.
Too many limbs.
Too many limbs. Like I can't do it. It's like all over the place. I'm like, they're doing it, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, cool. Or if he's like, she'd be like eating me out, and he's hitting it from the back and stuff like that. I'm just like, I don't know.
There's too many people.
There's too many people. I don't like it.
But I feel like that's something that comes up when I come in contact with a lot of women who. When they ask me about the whole threesome conversation, they always paraphrase it in a way where it's something that they're doing for their relationship. They're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their man. And the whole purpose that they want to kind of start to be about that life is because they feel like it's something that's going to spice up their relationship. It's something that he wants. So I'm the wrong person to ask about threesome etiquette because I've never in my life had a threesome with a man because it was something that he wanted to do.
Really? I find it's for me because it's not a topic that I would just bring up to the table. Like he's always the one who's like, oh, I want a threesome, call up your girl. I'm like, first of all, I'd rather be with somebody who none of us know. Like she's just a neutral party. Because I've experienced before in the past with one of the threesomes that I had where we used a friend and that person caught feelings. So it's like and I guess they always say as well too, the women should pick the man. What do you think? Do you think the other person? Do you think the woman should pick, or do you think it should be like he should pick, or is it like a?
That's tricky because it depends on the relationship. Like it really depends on the relationship. So I was with somebody for several years.
Okay.
And that particular individual, because they were so frequent in the industry and to nightclubs and entertainment and things of that nature. They were always around a lot of women, right? Like, I'm not consistently in an environment where I'm around a lot of women. I'm not consistently in an environment where like I'm around a lot of females that may be kind of like into, you know, not having a relationship and having some type of a sexual relationship with the people that is involved.
Yeah.
So it was easier sometimes for him to line it up, but then we had a lot of crazy scenarios. Like there was a girl that he used to deal with that he brought into the mix. I've always had for me, I've always had an attraction to women that I struggle with, especially I'm a Muslim woman. These are very taboo topics to have conversations about. So. And since I was younger, I've always been raised around men. So I've always been in very male dominated environments. I've actually had men ask me point blank, like, do you prefer girls? Like, or do you prefer dudes? Or like, what is your deal? Because the way that I move is very masculine.
Yeah.
There's been very interesting scenarios in my lifetime where I've felt like I want to have certain relationships or certain interactions with women, but there's the taboo, right? The idea that this is not really something that is acceptable, or this isn't something that you should really be doing. But then if you really break it down, you're not even supposed to be having sex in the first damn place. So if you're having a moral confliction there, you know,
then there's something really wrong with you.
There's no such thing as, in my opinion, there's no such thing as like this sin is worse than the other sin. Like we, especially faith-wise, you know, we've been communicated very clearly, like what's right, what's right and what's wrong. So, you know, the decisions and the choices that you make morally is a completely different conversation. And honesty with myself, I've dealt with women throughout the course of my life where I realized that I can't have a relationship with women because it's too much stress. It is
we are stressful beings, though.
It is too much drama. But at the same time, having relationships on a sexual tangent with men, it allows me that opportunity to kind of also bring that into the equation as well. Because I feel like if I'm completely honest with myself, I don't want to go my whole entire life without having a sexual relationship with another woman, because that is part of who I am.
Yeah.
Would I say that I'm bisexual? That's not probably the way that I would look at it, because I feel that bisexual people are open to being in full-blown relationships, right?
True, that is true.
I would never be open to full-blown relationships, but I have certain male tendencies where I love
you want to be
the chase.
Like,
no, it's not even just about being with women.
Okay,
it's also something about the chase. There's something about this predator versus prey. You can't do that with men.
That is true.
I can't go to the club. And I can't be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna chase this dude down. I'm gonna bring him home with me, like it's some type of conquest.
It's not in our DNA to chase men down, though.
Exactly, but I do have something that is inside of me that is very much a competitive nature, and it's very much a type of almost like a conquest type of spirit, right?
Okay.
And women are very gravitated to, like, women gravitate towards me. It's always been very easy for me to be able to incite these types of relationships with other women or other females on a very holistic way, but that's very different. That's why it's easy for me.
Yeah.
When I talk to other girls and when they ask me, they're like, yo, but Ava, but how do you bring another woman into your relationship? How do you do it the right way?
Yeah.
If you're not doing it for your own reasons, that's where it starts to get complicated.
True. I see where that.
How much of your ego do you think came into like being in that environment where you're having to kind of watch that? Like, does it take away from the sexual excitement of the experience?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it did. It kind of just like ruined the whole like mood, because like when I get territorial, it's like I don't want no one touching my man. So it's just like, it was like, I would say it's like the first time it was really, really bad, but then eventually, as we did it time and time after that, it was like, okay, it kind of subsided a little bit, but the first time I would say it just ruined the whole entire mood. I would say that maybe lasted like a good maybe 10 minutes max. I was like, I can't have you like groping him and stuff like that.
See,
like,
and I'm funny because I don't, you can't kiss. Like, the kissing is like an intimacy.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Like,
I made sure he didn't kiss her, by the way.
Like,
just,
kissing,
you know.
Kissing is an intimacy, and a lot of women say the same thing. They say, listen, you can do whatever you want. Because we're wired differently than men. We're wired differently than men.
We're emotional.
We view the kissing as an intimate act.
Yeah.
So when you view something going on between your partner and somebody else that is a very intimate act, you don't want that to take place. It's also bad etiquette if I get up and I go to the bathroom and I come back. It's like,
and them two are fucking no.
But y'all don't even wait for me.
No, hi, I'm
like,
right here.
Don't even wait for me at all.
Yeah.
And I'm very self-centered. I'm very selfish. I think that's also been communicated to me where I like to be the center of attention. So for those are the reasons that I would prefer to have a threesome with my man. It's less about him, honestly. And that's probably the reason it's been more successful in my experience.
That's true.
Because it's more about me. But I've had girls come up to me in a club, like straight girls. And that's the other thing. It's way more exciting.
Okay, so like the women that you and your man would bring, are they always bisexual, or how often would they be straight as opposed to bisexual?
I would say 90% of the time they're straight girls.
Really?
90% of the time it's straight girls.
Wow.
90% of the time, straight girls, curiosity. There was one time that we were out at some little, like, I wouldn't even call it a club, some little bar, right?
Okay.
And, we got a bottle and, and the other thing that contributes, I think, is the type of man that you're with. It becomes easier to pull women if your man got money, if he looked good, if he carries himself a certain type of way. Like, if he's somebody that you actually see other women wanting to have sex with, it's very, very easy to convince another woman to get into bed with you.
True.
But if your man is only attractive to you, then you're going to maybe have a lot more challenges in the process of that. So we're out, we had a bottle, it was just us, we were chilling. And there was just this girl, she was super thirsty. Like, she was dumb thirsty. She was out with her friends.
But was she thirsty for you or for your man?
I couldn't really tell. It started out, she was thirsty for him. Because he had the bottle or whatever, and she peeped game. I think, in my opinion, she saw him and she saw me and she knew that it was a package deal.
Of course.
But I also think that as she started to drink, she was looser with it and she kind of knew, like, she kind of knew what it was. And so, like, I know I can peep game. I'm very similar to a man when it comes to that. I can tell when a woman is sending those signals because I'm a woman. I know when I'm sending those signals. I know when I'm throwing things out into the mix, when I'm throwing signals out to a man, I know what that looks like. Yeah. Right? So it's easy to recognize it. So next thing I know, I'm bringing the girl out the club and I'm looking at him like, either you coming or you're not. I'm at the door. He like paying for the bottle. I'm like, no. This got to happen fast. Because sometimes you get a window. True. Right? But this is a random girl. This is a girl. We never even exchanged phone numbers with this girl. Never nothing. Took her home and then dropped her back and that's it. And that was what it was. We never had no drama. We never had no issues. In the same relationship, we also had sexual experience with somebody who was a friend of mine, somebody that I knew, somebody that I hung out with, all of that.
That scares me though, because like emotions like get caught onto like if you were to know that person.
And the interesting thing about that girl is that we didn't have an issue until I was out and she brought it to the attention of a family member. Yeah. The nature of the relationship that she had with myself and my significant other. Yeah. And
that's ballsy though. Like, how can you actually like mention it to a significant?
Well, I was very fortunate because like my god sister, I mean, obviously is my god sister. Like, she's very different than any. If it had been other family members, it would have been a very big problem. But because of who she told, it was easier. But then she reminded me, she's like, Eva, you can't mess with this girl like that if she's gonna be out here talking your business, because you are supposed to keep things behind closed doors. You are supposed to keep things, very private. This is the conflict that we always come in contact with, is how do you express yourself sexually as a woman without having a level of promiscuity that garners disrespect? That's such a challenge. It's hard. So hard.
It's hard.
I didn't have a lack of trust for this girl is where my man was concerned. But the reason for that is that you have to know your man. You should not be having a threesome with a dude that is running around on you. You shouldn't be having a threesome with a dude that his morals are questionable, his loyalty to you is questionable. Before you even find yourself in that position, you need to know, is this man really going to be loyal to me? Is he going to move like that? Because you can't be mad at the girl. Women put too much pressure on the woman being culpable for any wrongdoing.
I agree. That I agree with.
Do you feel like in that scenario, if something were to happen, who are you going to blame more?
Me, as being the person in the relationship, I'm going to blame the other woman.
But why is that? But if he pursues it outside of the if he pursues it outside of the relationship.
Because you're coming into this is, again, my whole primal, like, territorial, like, mindset about it. Because, like, you're coming into my situation, so I'm obviously going to blame you. I'm not going to blame my man, because I'm going to have my man's back regardless at the end of the day. So, again, it's just I'm going to have to blame the next chick.
See, and I completely disagree with you.
Really?
I completely disagree with you. I feel like it's a violation and a disrespect? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Is it something that needs to get handled? Absolutely.
Definitely.
It does. But the way that you interact with your relationships as women, men are wired differently. Yeah. And this is what a lot of women don't realize. Okay? That dude is looking at this girl like, that's a quick, easy nut. Mm-hmm. I don't got to do no work. I don't got to do nothing. I'm not saying that it's right. But he's supposed to have the self-discipline to say, my loyalty to my woman comes first. Yeah. If they don't do that, then that is on him.
True. Okay.
So for us to turn up on another chick because she did, sure, you can turn up on the principle of disrespect, but whose fault is it?
I see where you're coming from. Okay.
That's why I disagree, right? Okay. Because
fair enough.
So when it comes down to, I've had women that have hit me up and they've asked me, Eva, on the podcast, can you talk about how do you go about starting a threesome and how do you go about threesome etiquette? And that's why I wanted to have this conversation first about how you deal with your man, because that is the fundamental foundation that has to take place first. Mm-hmm. You have to know your relationship. You as a woman, if you are doing something like having a threesome because of the fact that you're trying to impress him or you're trying to, garner more in that relationship and get more out of him, that's the wrong relationship.
That is true.
That's the wrong relationship. Because then, let me ask you, how did you feel afterwards? Like when it's all said and done, all the pheromones have come down, hormones have chilled out. Now all of a sudden you good, you done nutted, you back to your regular state of mind because you know that you're not in the same mind state pre-bust and post-bust. Like this is just facts. Men, women, across the board, doesn't matter. That's why most of these cats be out here getting hemmed up because you don't have enough blood flow to go from one head to the other head at the same damn time. Mm-hmm. So now you're back. You got your mind right. How do you feel?
Me, as my opinion, I would just feel okay. It's done. Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's move on. I don't like it. I'm not into threesomes anymore. I can't do it.
So then you're the perfect example of a woman who has identified for herself that this is not for you.
No, it's not for me. Yeah, exactly. My man would want it. Okay. It would take him, of course, some convincing, but then me, the type of woman that I am, I'd be like, okay, fine, sure, whatever.
Now, what happens if that same man comes to you and he says, I want a threesome, I need a threesome, or I'm going to cheat on you?
Bye.
No. You said that quickly.
Bye.
No, all right, no. You love this man. You in a relationship with this man.
Okay.
You've been with this man, and he comes to you and he says, listen, this is who I am. I'm really trying to discipline myself, but I don't want to cheat on you because I'd rather do this with you.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it, then you leave the door open for me to go holler at.
But that makes me question. It's like I know my pussy is fire, so why do you need to go?
See, but this is the problem. Women don't understand. It doesn't matter how good your box is. This is where women are wrong. This is where women don't understand the male psyche. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you notice, a lot of these men don't cheat with
9s and 10s.
Better.
No, it's
and they don't
5 or
cheat
lower.
With porn stars. No. They don't cheat with girls that are necessarily freakier.
It's always the bitches you give it off so easily.
You never know. There's a difference between quality and easy access.
Okay.
Women, when we go and we look for a partner, we try to find a partner that we connect with. We try to find somebody we're attracted to.
Yeah,
we try to find somebody that's going to give us the best deeds, take us to the nicest places, do all of this. We going through all of throat. You know what men think about? How quick and how cheap is this going to be able to, lay this out?
I don't have to put in this much work. How
now that's different. Now I'm not trying to disrespect the brothers. That's not what I'm trying to say. Okay. When they're looking for a partner and they're looking for a woman that they want to spend their life with, they're in the same mindset.
No, exactly. There's a difference between them wanting to find someone that they want to spend all their quality time with, and there's other guys, or the other side of their mind, I guess, where they pretty much just want to find that easy nut. So
and that's
an equal between the two.
Exactly what it is about ease. When you discuss things having to do with easy access, right? Men think very different.
Of course.
It's a predatory, because I think that a lot of women underestimate how primal men are. They are very, very primal individuals. Like, they've already gone into the club and they've sized up, you know, what type of woman they could talk to.
Yeah.
They've already sized up who their competition is.
Yeah.
They've already sized up, okay, this dude is gonna get this quality of females before I get her, right? So they have to wait almost until those other 5 or 6 dudes that they acknowledge as being more alpha than them try and fail before they're gonna try and shoot their shot. Like, men do certain math in their head. They don't overthink it, but it's like, you know, they look around and they're very primal and their instinct is what it is. So when they see easy access and they know they've been dealing with this girl, what ends up happening? They go to the next
option.
The next option,
yeah.
right? The faster option, the best option, the better option. It's very tricky for women to understand, because when you're feeling a type of way and you like, yo, I need to release some stress, I need to do something, whatever it is that you need to do, right? We will withhold it until we find quality. Now, there's a few girls that I know that they'll go and they'll break off of, you know, little ugly dudes and don't tell nobody and like on some hush hush shit.
Of course.
But that's not a common thing for women.
No, that's very, very rare.
I've seen dudes straight up get head from like 2s and be okay with it because they need to stick their dick in some shit.
That's true. That is very true. And also another thing that I've also heard as well too, kind of like ties into this next topic, is like, guys think, well, I heard it's a general consensus that men think that bigger girls give the best head.
This is an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a real quick pause, and then we're going to come back to that, because and how much weight did you lose?
I've lost over 60 pounds.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
That's a big blessing. But that means that you are now capable of discussing
this theory
exactly. I have
of
whether or not big girls
personal
get better
testimony,
head.
so to speak. Yes.
So we're going to take a little break. We're going to switch the SD cards, and we're going to come right back. So
sounds good.
Keep tuning in, keep posted, and we will be right back with Conscious Thoughts.
I like that. Switch SD cards. Why don't you guys answer my questions, man?
My bad. Hold on. Let me take it off live.
You guys saw my question.
I saw your question. Okay, relax. I'm going to stay live. Fuck it.
I didn't.
Get on your
So,
get on the thing and ask some questions. I've been asking like.
In your threesome,
Well, how do I
after
get it?
and the whole situation's done, like you said, everyone's happy, everyone's doing whatever
Your
they did.
phone's all over
Is there a cuddle time after?
Where's your phone?
Bye, bitch. No. No.
Actually, that depends.
Kick that bitch
But
to
this
the
goes
door.
back.
No.
But this goes back to what I just said, because I've kicked my dude out the bed before.
And then you cuddle with the girl.
Yeah.
Like,
So it depends.
I'm still alive. We'll take it out. I don't know. It's okay. I'll keep going. I'll keep going.
Yeah, no, this is what goes on in the background. This is it.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Exactly.
And
It's
it
on
hurts
YouTube
radio.
anyway, so.
So basically, it's open for discussion.
Well, it's open for discussion because it depends on the relationship.
Right.
Mine's not live.
Oh, you want to go pro? Go live.
Go pro.
I was waiting to see. So what's going on? Because I wanted to come off air first. What was the reason we needed to stop?
Oh, because the camera shut off.
Oh.
So
that's
I'm
it.
recording just audio, and I'm trying.
But we can just like put up your conscious thought thing.
this picture like when that.
Okay, so we can get back to.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
see.
Yeah, that's why I
it
changed
was
it.
just
Oh, because that's why I was confused.
You know what
Okay.
we should say?
Yeah.
Back
Yeah, it was
from the
like-
sponsors. No, Dutch? No, because it's going to be an advertisement in the middle.
All right.
Should we say that? Back from the sponsors.
Yeah.
So you just saw our local sponsors. We're back at it. And go back to our conversation.
That's
good, no?
Sounds good.
Okay,
Is that good?
so we are back. We
You guys
are.
want to go for some air at all? You guys not hot?
We are.
They're on
I'm
a
still
roll.
live, so
Yeah.
yeah, we're still going. We're
You
still
look at
going.
that phone.
We want some behind the scenes outtakes. No, it absolutely depends on the relationship. Like 100% depends on the relationship, because you know whether or not I let a girl stay versus calling her Uber is kind of similar to like depends on the relationship that you have, right? Like if you have a relationship with somebody where you trust them or whatever. Because, like, I've had girls wake up and cook me breakfast in the morning, right? So, like, I want you to sleep over. But that's what I'm saying. If you can wake up and cook me breakfast, you can stay. Like, if you can, not only that, cook me breakfast and clean my house.
It's okay.
No.
I want to
Like, so,
I know, but I want
in those scenarios, in those situations, Catch wants to know. Catch is very curious. It's not just men, it's women.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh yeah, that's why I've been in both situations where, but most of the time the girl kicks the other girl out. The girl kicks the other girl out. Or the other thing is that let's say the other girl decides to leave the room for a minute.
But
that's me. And I'm still doing what I'm doing with the other girl.
Have to leave the room?
So she didn't have to. She's choosing to. I'm not knowing this at the time because I'm involved doing my thing.
No. We're gonna have another. We about to get into that.
Be free, B.
Absolutely.
You want to know about orgies? That's on the next episode.
Yes. Why you asking about that? Your ass not on. Okay.
What
are you trying to find out?
Maybe men should be here.
We not that far in yet. Right? The studio audience is super turned up over this current topic.
You know, are you gonna do the contestants?
Yes.
No, we got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. Oh, and we absolutely
1, 2, 3, 4.
We got a little game in studio.
Your contestant number 2.
Wait until you guys see this.
Number 1.
About to have a little game in the studio.
Behind the scenes at
Apex Radio.
Yeah.
Gosh, come on, man. It's a family.
Conscious thought.
All right.
THOT.
Dutch, are we good on the sound? Are we good on the audio? All right. Studio audience, thank you.
Asking here and not on the gram, right?
Hey, ask on the gram.
Ask on the gram.
Ask on the gram.
So, one of the questions. So we're back. Conscious thoughts. We about to do some creative editing because there was actually a question that was brought to our attention by the studio audience, and it asked about whether or not you let the girl stay or whether or not she gotta leave. Right?
Yeah.
This is a very valid question. And this is why I say it depends on what your comfort level is as a woman.
Do you want to know what my comfort level is?
Bitch,
Kick
get
that
out.
bitch to the door.
Okay.
Bye.
All
No.
right. And my comfort level is that Shorty is cooking me breakfast in the morning. Mm-hmm. Shorty is helping me clean the house. Mm-hmm. And if then you can stay.
Thing is, that's my job as a woman in the relationship. I want to be able to cook my man breakfast. I want to bring it to his bed.
But I want to be able to sleep in sometimes, right? Like, no, I mean, men get certain perks. Mm-hmm. Think about everything that you have done as a woman for a man to make him comfortable. Just think about it. Think about it. All right?
Okay.
Not to say that man hasn't done the same thing, but men they don't have that emotional sensitivity.
No.
They don't have that intimacy the same way. They say shit out the side of their mouth without realizing what a fucking asshole they sound like.
Yeah.
Like,
you sound like
that.
a dick.
So women have more of an instinct and more of a consideration for the feelings of the individual sometimes. So when you have a relationship with a woman sexually where she is a good woman, and she genuinely is in the mix because she wants to have a sexual experience with you, with your man. That's who she is and how she is. Yeah. Then she's going to have that type of etiquette. That's how she's going to be. And then you are able to enjoy a different type of friendship there.
Okay.
There is a different type of friendship. But that's only if you are the kind of woman who you are strong enough or you are capable of being able to do that.
You're confident in yourself, yeah.
I know people in polyamorous relationships. I'm not a polyamorous type of female.
Neither am I.
I will still stab you. I will still stab you. Like, I'm very territorial as well.
I mean, for me, I may be submissive to my man, but when it comes to him, I do not fuck around whatsoever. So it's like.
And when you're in a situation where you connect with somebody and you find a female to bring into the bedroom, sometimes relationships kind of evolve out of that are friendships, right?
Yeah, I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen before.
Do those possibly end up getting messy? They end up getting messy
if
that other woman does not have a clear understanding of the fact that this is a relationship that I'm respecting. This is a relationship that I am involved in only because of the fact that this is a sexual exchange, even though there's other elements of the sexuality and the intimacy. But those women are very hard to find. It's similar to like the conversation about how hard it is to find a faithful and a loyal female friend that you can actually confide in.
True.
Right? If I tell you something, or if I tell you my business, if I tell you something that's going on between me and my man as my friend, that's supposed to stay with you.
Of course.
Right?
Strict confidentiality.
So the same goes when you have a threesome with another woman. whatever goes on in the bedroom, whatever type of sexual relationship that y'all engage in, that should always stay between y'all. It should always stay respectfully in that scenario. Now, if you left it up to these men to pick a girl for the threesome, I would put money on it. You will not be physically attracted to that girl.
Of course not. Definitely not.
I've been in multiple situations.
One of the members of the studio audience is saying that's a lie.
No, I've been in multiple
He's saying it's lies.
situations. There's almost always. Because what men find attractive sometimes.
Okay, well, let me tell you this, though. My last relationship, he really wanted to have threesomes. And he said it is imperative that this woman be more attractive than I am. Which I thought was absolutely fucking strange. I'm like, so hold on. Yes, no.
And you ain't
that was no. That's when I drew the line. I was like, that is never happening whatsoever ever again. Because this man was like, it is imperative for this woman to be more attractive than you. I'm like, but why? He goes, I need you to be turned on. I'm like, I'm not turned on by pussy. I'm turned on by dick. I love penises. I'm sorry. I think penis is the most prettiest thing in the world. Like, they're absolutely beautiful.
See, we digress in opinion again.
No,
okay?
I love dick. I'm sorry.
If I never had to see it, I would be happy.
I don't like dick pics. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I will look at it like I'm telling you. The last man that I dated, he had the most beautiful penis I've ever seen in my entire life. I loved it.
But what makes it pretty though? Like what?
I don't know. What? Okay, the length of it, the girth, his balls weren't saggy. They were both pretty even and everything like that. I'm telling you, like he had a beautiful penis.
You know, and you know what? I've heard this from a lot of my female friends.
I'm telling you.
I have sat and heard debates over cut, uncut. What's the difference between black dick and white dick? And what's the difference between this one and this size and that? That females talk about it.
Yeah,
and I've always sat on the outskirts of that conversation and been like, it's not, I can't find the beauty. I can find the beauty in a lot of things. I can't find the beauty in it. It's the power. It's the feeling. It's the energy. It's the way that you like can take a man's soul out for like a second, right? Yeah. When you hear that like that absolute point of weakness, like women have very different motivations for having sexual relationships. If the size makes it look good, color is everything. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I would agree that size is definitely probably more appealing.
Important. That's
but I think that's also a demographic thing, and it
that
also depends on the type of men that you're using.
And how he uses it too. Is also.
So what would you rather have though? Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you rather have a man that he's hung like we talking like between 8 and 10?
Big boy.
Yo, homie got it on lock when it comes to size.
It'll come out of my mouth if it's in me. Yeah.
But he's like maybe gonna dig you down for like 20 minutes. Like 15 tops, 20, right?
Actually, I've had a situation like that where it's like he had a very beautiful penis as well. And he was literally, I'm no word of a lie, but he was a 2-pump chump. Boom, boom, done. I'm like, no, it was such a waste. I'm like, and I tried to do everything that I could to revive it. Gave him my champion head that I was crowned that I have, which is kind of into our next topic. But I just couldn't get him back up. It was.
So then, would you rather?
I took it out.
Okay, so would you rather prefer somebody then that say they're like, you know, they're regular? You give them 7 because you like their personality, but then they hold it down, and then they make you bust over and over. Like there's that intimacy, there's that passion, everything is there.
Yeah.
What's better?
I want to nut more than once.
I want to nut more than once.
I want to nut more than once.
Oh my goodness. These options that we are left with as women, and then we're not even really allowed to discuss these things.
Which is why I love the fact that we have this podcast. We are able to discuss this. So, like, thank you so much, Apex Radio, for having the show. But yes,
I have a perfect question from Instagram Live. Wear your body. I have a question: head or penetration? Now, hold on a second.
Okay, is that head like as a giving head or a female receiving head? Like, I need you to elaborate because we need to know this. What else do we have here?
I feel like I don't like getting head.
Really?
My God, no.
Hold on. What is wrong with you?
Why does everybody say this.
What's wrong with you?
Everyone says this
Yo,
to me.
if you don't like getting your pussy ate, I'm sorry, you're an alien in my mind. Like, I can't.
I just, you know what, I don't know. I can't explain it. And you know, every time that I'm in a relationship with somebody and they hear this, what the hell is wrong with you? This is
exactly. Philly Phil, shout out. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, and every man will say to me, no, you just haven't had it done right. No.
That is true.
That's not true.
No?
It's not true.
Okay, maybe.
I just don't like it. It's just, there's something about it that to me, it emasculates my man. And this is gonna sound so.
I don't like when men think that way.
No, but I feel that way.
Really?
I feel that way. It's not about how men feel. I feel like it emasculates my man. I understand that it's about you have to be able to pleasure your woman the right way.
Yeah.
But it's about what you're attracted to. Because for me, like I like that masculinity, like the power, the strength of masculinity. And there's something that is very submissive in a way about a man giving oral sex.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful thing, but I can't get out of my head long enough to enjoy it. Right? Now, on the other hand, I can actually have an orgasm from giving head. So this is the interesting flip side. This is why I asked where your body, what is the difference between
getting head or receiving
head or receiving head? Yeah. This is an interesting question because you got to think about it. There's something about that power. There's something about the way that, you know, sex is very mental for women.
That is true.
There is not a standard rule book for men across the board as far as how to please women. You have to have a conversation with the woman that you're in a relationship with.
Yeah, you need to know what
you have to, because mentally things are different. I could literally give head for an hour and probably get off in a similar way as to having sex.
Really?
But it's a mental thing. But it's a personal thing though. Yeah. I can't be like that with everybody. Yeah. This is me having a conversation about somebody that I'm in a relationship with, or I have an intimacy or an intimate attachment to. There's something about that just it pulls that out of me. Everybody's different.
That is true.
As a man, you have to ask questions, but what about, since I hear all these women out here talking about how amazing and incredible getting head is, would you prefer head over penetration, or is penetration always the go-to?
To me, it's a split even. I like both. I would love for a man to freaking go down on me, stay down there and everything, but I love penetration. Like the second it slides in, one of the best feelings in the world.
Okay, here's another question. Can you have sex with somebody who doesn't kiss you?
No, I like kissing. I really, really like kissing. I enjoy kissing. Like you were saying earlier, like it's intimate, so it has that intimate connection. I'm not just gonna like fuck someone that I'm not really have that type of connection with. You know what I mean? Like I need to be connected with you sexually in order for me to have sex with you.
But does it really make a difference though? Do you think that it really do you think definitely. It is actually a reflection of the fact that individual is not intimately connected to you?
Yeah, definitely. Because then if this is how I think. Though I'm weird. So I think that if a man is not kissing me sexually, he's just in it for the nut and he's not into me. If that were to happen, thankfully that never happened to me before. So that's at least my opinion of it.
What if people have attachment issues, but they still love you?
I wouldn't put myself in that situation. Oh, if they still love me.
But it's just that there's certain things that people physically like, because I've had somebody say to me, if you can't let me go down on you, then that means that there's you're removing an intimacy, right?
Okay.
So the kissing is the same kind of question. It's like, is it about what some people like? Can you compromise with your partner if they feel a certain type of way? Because I know I've been in relationships with men that thoroughly enjoy giving head. It's something that they like to do.
Okay.
So you're taking that away from them because you're saying, oh, I don't like that. Where do you draw the line in the compromise on something like kissing, which is considered an intimate act?
Mm-hmm. But I still see it as kissing to be more common as opposed to a man going down. Like more men will kiss a woman as opposed to going down on her. So if there's no kissing during sex, then I personally think there's an issue there.
So there's this rumor me being new to Canada.
Okay.
There's this rumor.
Okay.
Let me see if I can muster like my Canadian accent real quick. I'm gonna try to find it. Hold
shit.
on. This what is it? Bad man no eat no pum pum. Right? Isn't it something like that?
Close to
no,
it.
No dog, I don't do that. You know, is that I've heard that a lot of Toronto men from Caribbean backgrounds that they refuse to give head.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been the experience that I've heard from the women that I know that have dealt with these men, where they will say this emphatically that they don't give head. Okay. But that's not what's actually going on.
That's weird though, because like I've spoken to men in the Caribbean background, and there's been a few that say, yeah, they're proud to eat pussy. Like that's what they want to do. And yes, I've come across men who are from the Caribbean background, so to speak, and they refuse. So it's interesting.
But do you think that this is, so that it begs a question, because this whole concept of masculinity, right? Mm-hmm. I don't enjoy it because I feel like it emasculates the man that I'm with. I feel like it's like it takes away a certain degree of his masculinity for me personally. Mm-hmm. And whether that's true or not, it has nothing to do with that. That's just how I feel, right?
Yeah.
Does that give warrant to these feelings that maybe sometimes these men feel that it does question the level of masculinity, whether or not they will engage with a woman?
Yeah,
like that?
I mean, like, because there's one guy that I dated, and he refused to go down on a woman. Not just, I thought that was just only me, but then he's like, no, it's like to anyone, because in his mind, he was a self-proclaimed king, and you'll never see a king bowing down to someone else. The king is at the highest top of the tier, right, at the highest level of the tiers, and like, you always see people bowing down to the king. So like, you'll never see a king in his mind, if he's going to be going down on a woman, that's him bowing down to the woman, and she has all power. That's the way he thought. So I'm just like, okay, I see where that's from, but at the same time, I still want my pussy.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, another question that we have on the Instagram Live is whether or not you can climax without an emotional connection. Are you capable of climaxing?
Yeah, if the dick is good, you can climax. Why not?
Have you ever been in a situation where you can't because there's no emotional connection?
I don't think so. No.
Because I've dead ass been in situations where like I
really?
can't. If there's something, I shouldn't say if there's not an emotional connection, because I've never actually had a physical relationship with anybody that I don't have some type of emotional connection to. Yeah. Whether it's friendship or whether it's like that level of intimacy. But when I'm mad, and I'm mad at you and I don't like you, if I don't like you right now, that affects my ability sometimes to whether or not I can actually get off. Because it's like, if I don't like you right now, and I'm not emotionally into it, and all I'm doing is thinking about how mad at you I am, that can affect it. Because women are very, very mental. That's why men listening to the podcast right now, women, it doesn't matter their background, whether they're your wife, whether it's a girl that's in the streets, everybody deserves the opportunity to have a dialogue and have connections. We live in a fleeting time right now. Social media, dating apps, Tinder, all of these things that are starting to come up, it's making things easier to just access sex without all of the things that come into sex.
That is true.
So it removes all of these, relationships and connections from people, and it removes this element of communication. Mm-hmm. I would say, for my own personal, that is the reason that I prefer to have sexual relationships with people that I'm close with.
Okay,
right?
That's true. That is true.
But men need to start asking more questions. Like, if you don't care, brother, what does that say about you if you don't care? And women too. If you don't care, if you don't even care enough to ask him, if you're not even open, that's why a lot of people end up going into the internet, and it affects, because they will watch a certain type of porn and they refuse to admit the type that they watch of porn.
Yeah.
Well, yep. Even that they watch it, or the type of porn that they're watching.
Yeah.
See, we have something coming through on Instagram Live right now talking about, if I'm mad at my boyfriend, I want to have sex with him because it relaxes them. Hate sex is sometimes it's a good outlet.
I like angry sex though.
Does angry sex make you stop arguing? Like, if you in the middle of an argument and you mad and back and forth, and then he just grab you and it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Like, it's actually funny enough.
Does that solve the argument?
A friend of mine told me this. Like, she would get into constant arguments with her man. And like, they'd be sitting on the couch or whatever have you, during like, do you know when you have an argument with somebody and like it just pauses, you stop arguing, and then out of nowhere you just get back into it automatically? Well, in between that pause, she just like pulled his dick out and she started sucking his dick. I'm just like, oh, okay. So I was actually like shocked. I'm like, okay, so, and she enjoyed it. Like they constantly always had angry sex, so she enjoyed it. So I don't know. From what I take it, I guess angry sex is really good.
See, sometimes it has ended the argument in my past relationship experiences, but I don't like to bring up old shit. So if we squash something, like I always prefer to squash something.
Keep it moving, yeah.
Keep it moving. Women, y'all really need to stop bringing up old shit. Like you really, 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 you can't sit there and say it's all good if it's not really all good.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
I am the worst at talking about my
guilty.
feelings. I am the worst at expressing how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised by African men with a certain mentality that, you know, emotions and love and all of these concepts, these were not communicated to us as far as how to deal with this. It's very hard for me.
Yeah.
But when I feel a certain type of way, I have to take accountability for my feelings, right? So if we fight and I tell you that you pissed me off and you did this to me or you did that to me, and then I tell you that it's done, and if I bring it up later on, all it's going to do is cause even more problems.
Issues, yeah.
If you tell your partner, I forgive you, it's done, it's over with, women, you have to start putting rules on yourself. Like, you have to start putting rules on yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the way that people communicate and dialogue, and a lot of it can be cultural because, like I said, you know, I have an East African father, the way that his mentality is, the way that he views things when it comes to conflict resolution, the way that I saw certain things, people just repress their feelings. They don't talk about it once it's been discussed and then it's over. And even when something comes up, they're not even really bringing it. And like, we repress a lot of our emotions and our feelings. Women do that and then they end up fucking themselves over. Yeah. And the reason I say they end up fucking themselves over is because women are not built like that. My father, on the other hand, is built, he could repress some shit and literally, like, he's not even going to care about it after, like, a week. Women, when you repress stuff and you don't get it out, you're not built like that. Not to say not all women are built like that, because people are different.
There's a fear.
But most women, mentally, the way that they are wired, there's one of those situations and circumstances where they're capable of doing certain things that other people are not capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's just unfortunate. Like, it's unfortunate that we have to, at this stage in the game where we grown and we adults, that when we just want to fight, we just bring up old stuff. Who's going to be in that scenario with you, fighting with you over old shit for years and years and years and years and ever feel happy? Can you ever feel happy?
No, you won't. You won't, because you're constantly in that, I guess, that dark space.
What makes you bring up old stuff? Like, what is it that triggers that?
Yo, just when a nigga just pisses me off. Like, if he were to do something and it just, I guess it kind of just reminds me, if he did something and it reminds me of what he has done, then it's just okay. Then I have to bring up whatever it is that's bothering me. So, yeah.
No, I mean, and culturally, there's a lot of things that end up coming up as well, too, right? Because the way that we deal with relationships, a lot of it's a lot of nature versus nurture, right?
Yes,
so exactly. A lot of it is nature versus nurture, because when you take women who are very much raised by them, like, how is your relationship with your mother, James? How's your?
I love my mother. My mom's my best friend. She's my mother, right? Best friend.
And based off of who your mother is and her cultural leanings, you have a certain idea about the way that you deal with relationships based on how you deal with.
Of course.
Okay.
For everything that I've learned of how to deal with a man and when it comes to relationships, I've learned from my mother. I mimic her. So it's like, she's like, I've seen where it comes to situations where she's like, she'll submit to her man, but she'll still hold her ground. So because of that, I'm literally like identical to her. So I will do whatever my man needs me to be. But if I have a certain opinion about certain things, then yes, of course I will hold my ground. So
absolutely. Definitely. And it's a good thing that you have that reference, because then you take, for example, an individual like myself. Okay? Yeah. When you're biracial and you're raised by both parents, you see the different sides of how they deal with things, right? Because you see the different cultures, you see the different ways that they relate to each other.
Yeah.
But if you're raised one certain type of way, you don't necessarily know how to interact with other people from other dynamics. So I think that a lot of times in relationships, we don't realize how much the other person's culture plays into how they deal with issues and things that they deal with and where they come from and what they do and how they relate to you, right? Like it's a very complex thing when you deal with another individual, you deal with another human being, you open your life up to them.
Definitely.
But if we're not communicating the way that we need to feel love or we need to receive love or the way that we give love, then, you know, we're in a situation that makes it completely different where you're never going to be able to relate to that person.
Ever.
But you're never going to learn from that person though either, because the best relationships that I've been in have been ones where these other people have taught me ways that were different than what I was previously culturally amalgamated to do, right? And these topics of masculinity and how women relate to masculinity, if women don't have good relationships with their father, a lot of times they don't understand how to relate to men.
Exactly. Which is one thing I'm actually grateful for, that I have an amazing relationship with my father. So then I understand like a man's thought process when it comes to it. So yes, I definitely agree with you. When it comes to like relationships with the female and her father, it's a huge deal when it comes to relationships with them and their man.
So we got a little closeout that we want to talk about real quick. I feel that the age of social media has changed the way that we kind of look at people and take the time to get to know people, right? If you're going to get to know people, you need to get to know who they are, right? And when as a man you don't do that, you don't take the time to get to know who a woman is, you might catch an alley-oop. And the reason I say alley-oop is because this transgender...
Yo, I'm telling you, man, it's so hard.
It is becoming very difficult to discern.
Very difficult to spot a transgender,
and
like, person.
As a matter of fact, not only is it becoming very difficult, but we want to play a little game.
Yes, with our studio audience.
We got a little studio audience. We want to play a little game real quick, okay, before we go off the air.
It's a modern thing.
We've queued up a couple of photos.
We need the cards. You just missed the cue cards, boy and girl. Boy and girl.
I ain't playing that shit.
We're getting a little pushback. You're a little pushback.
You're playing the game. You're in the room. You're playing the game.
We do have somebody who is willing to participate. All right. So contestant number 1. We're going to show you a series of photos.
Yes.
Okay? And we want to know, all right?
All right.
Man or woman?
So, Instagram Live,
and
this is what we're looking at. So y'all have an idea. All right, go.
So
man or woman?
So contestant
number one.
Okay,
man or woman?
contestant number 1. Okay, this is I've been in Miami, so this is my Miami training here coming up. Pocahontas. I would have to say that's a dude.
It's a dude?
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Contestant 2? Or do you want to just go through?
No, we have to. Come on.
Take a wild guess, y'all.
Man. Okay. Now let's go to the next one.
We didn't get the answer for that one yet?
Nope. At the end.
At the end.
We're going to do the reveal.
Okay. See, she's hiding her neck right there, so this one makes it difficult.
You're checking for the Adam's apple.
We're not going to shout out on social media. We don't want to put nobody on blast or nothing, right? We don't want to, you know.
Looks like she had a lot of plastic surgery. I'm going to have to say do this again.
Once again.
Contestant 2.
Contestant number 2.
Come on.
He's just so positive. Mom.
All right. Now we're going to go over here.
If it don't,
all right.
You show.
Yes. Man or woman?
Damn, she even had the other part done. Looked like she was, I don't know. I got to say man. If in doubt, then we show.
If in doubt,
man, we show.
Okay. So, here we're going to go again. Man or woman? We like into our Maury days.
Yes. We just need the cards, man. I'm just telling you. Next time.
Yeah, again, man.
Why do I feel like this is becoming the safe answer?
Yes.
Okay. You know what?
I'll find something.
Everybody, no. Okay. All right. Man or woman?
Man or woman?
She got all bronzed up for the camera? Some gold speckles on her.
That's tough, eh?
No, I can see the Adam's apple. That's a dude. That's a dude right there.
All right. Well. Okay.
I think it's the last one.
This is gonna be the last one. This is gonna be the last one. Man or woman?
You jump on that one first.
Yeah, you go first. Since you're just going off of whatever he says. You go first.
Man, that's the one in Star. Man. That Star episode, man.
Yeah, that is that one. Yeah, that is.
So,
why'd you pick that one?
well, here's what this comes down to. Now, hold on. So what ended up happening in this little exchange?
The whole night.
The whole purpose of this conversation. My brother says to me, Eva, in the world of so much plastic surgery, women who are too done up, we are becoming more and more paranoid.
Absolutely true.
Out of all of those that you said, man, 3 of them were actually female. Right?
Okay, let's
Here.
So,
Here.
the fear, right?
You don't know. You really don't know.
So this is the reason that. So the reason we bring this up, right? Contouring, facial contouring and makeup. This comes from a background. Some women know, some women don't. This comes from drag queen makeup.
Yep.
The whole purpose of contouring, the original origin of that, is from drag queen makeup. Excessive plastic surgery to be perfect.
Yeah.
Right? All of these things. Do women think for a second, do they ever stop and think that men are already concerned in this culture where we are starting to see more transgender individuals who should be respected and should be given, the opportunity to live their lives and be happy? My thing is always about transparency. As long as you live your truth and you give people, the opportunity to know you and know who you are, then you're good.
Yeah.
But are we going too overboard with the hair and the makeup and the plastic surgery? Are we doing too much?
These bitches are competition. Hell yeah.
But
it's not enough, I'm telling you, man.
But is it competition or do we think it's competition?
We ourselves think it's competition because do you want a man to be prettier than you? I know I wouldn't.
But,
Seriously, no, honestly, if you think about it, I'm not trying to be no homophobic or anything. I have so much respect for the LGBT community, but I'm just saying, someone who was born a man, do you want them to be prettier than you?
I mean,
real talk. Me
listen,
personally, no.
It's not about want. It's about reality. I'm confident in who I am. I believe I'm a beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. I'm very confident with myself.
Yeah.
Do I think that there's going to be other people who are better looking than I am? Absolutely. I know this, right? So for me to go overboard and say, I'm going to contour my face, I'm going to do this all day, every day, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to make myself look a certain type of way, I feel like it's detrimental. We're actually hindering ourselves as women because now we have to constantly keep up with this standard. And that's we're basically saying to men, you should only deal with us if we are up here. If we are contouring, if we're doing doing all the extra stuff, then that's the only time that we deserve to be given attention. Yeah. And then that makes it more difficult for regular women to actually get a pass. Now, I'm not anti any of this stuff. I love makeup. I love, even plastic surgery. I advocate all of these things that make you happy and comfortable with who you are. Mm-hmm. But I also think that we need to sit back and we need to ask ourselves, what kind of bar are we setting? Mm-hmm. Like, men use contouring to transform themselves, to make themselves look like women.
Definitely.
Drag queens have been doing this for a long time very effectively.
Definitely.
Should we as women be transforming ourselves to that same level and that same intensity to where you don't even look like yourself when your face come off?
We shouldn't have to, but at the same time, it's like due to society and due to social media and all this.
But who sets the standard? Are we allowing men to set that standard?
Yes,
or are we setting the standard?
No, unfortunately we are. But it's also at the same time, men are very contradictory. They are setting the standard for us, but at the same time, it's like they want a woman who looks more natural. When contouring, it's like, okay, I want my cheekbones to look more embellished. That's why they use a contour. Mm-hmm. They want to have that natural look without being natural.
Okay.
So it's tough, I think.
At the end of all of our dialogue and all of our conversation today, one of the major things that I want to really come through on a podcast is how important it is for people to communicate and to take the time to build relationships. You have to take the time to get to know who somebody is.
Yeah.
You have to take the time to understand what you can and cannot live with. Whether it's a threesome, whether it's the type of sex you're having, whether it's your appearance, whether it's what you want out of a partner. If we are constantly just swiping right or swiping left, we're never going to build real connections with people. So this social media society, as entertaining as it may be, please, y'all, remember that there's so much more. And if you can find somebody who is authentically who they are, there's a lot to be respected and a lot to be said for that.
Definitely, 100%.
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Conscious Thoughts podcast, another installment. And we want to appreciate our little studio audience.
For
thank you guys very much.
And our boy or girl little game there.
And we want to give a big shout out to Apex Radio.
Thank you
Apex_radio is on Instagram. That is Apex with 2 X's. We are very thankful to be hosted here every week. Keep posted. We will be having our official launch party very soon. The website will be dropping very soon, and our content will be available on iTunes and SoundCloud very soon. Just continue to keep posted. Give us your feedback. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
We want to hear all of it.
I want to hear it all.
I need it all.
So, with that said, peace and blessings. Salaam alaikum.
So which ones were girls and which ones were boys?